to be true. A family that just had the one child, and they said it was the homeliest little child they ever seen, and they'd have his picture made, and it looked just like him, but they wanted it to flatter him. I really wanted him to look real pretty. And they'd get on the photographer and go back and he'd make it over. It still didn't suit him. Said he looked at him and he said, it's just exactly like him. Said, what do you expect? That's just like him. And said, I don't know how you could expect it to look any different. So maybe that's the way it is. I don't know, but I took a horrible picture.
How could you, if you look like that, how could you get you to look any better?
You couldn't.
Unless you go out to one of them places where they make them special ones out there, where they have a place where they make you out and do all that.
I think I'll go out there and get my picture made.
Yeah, I need to. Or do something. Or stay home.
Yeah.
Here's what I'm talking about this. These are real hard to read. These sentences that I pulled up. This is, I pulled them up on, the only one I've got so far is on James. I guess Ernest's dad. Right?
Yeah, James Harvey.
Did they call him James or did they call him Harvey?
Harvey.
They called him Harvey?
Mm-hmm.
And then James' dad is, his dad's name is Harvey too, wasn't it?
I think so now, I'm not sure.
I think
You know, Ernest's dad don't remember ever seeing his father.
dad?
His father.
Huh. Well, he died.
He go all the time.
They said that he just went away and never did come back. Took, I'll say, Harvey's sister with him. Did you and your mom talk about that?
See, I heard at least talk about that. Say that he was gone quite a bit and took.
Well, he disappeared and he
that
never.
one girl one time and left. They said
They never seen or heard from him again.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
He never came back?
No,
Then I heard that.
I didn't.
it is.
This is.
I thought you meant our dad. I didn't
No,
know
it was your
his
dad.
dad.
Uh-huh.
Then I heard James, which would be your dad, always was going out looking for him. Is that true?
Yeah, he used to go and hunt for him and inquire around and.
Or Elise was saying that her father, James, she could remember him being, or she thought he was gone quite a bit because he was out looking for his father, Harvey, because he went out with, he took his daughter and went on somewhere.
You know, Harvey's father did.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So Elise can't remember. You remember your dad, can you?
No,
Well, I don't guess you could either.
I don't remember him.
Can you remember him at all?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, his name was Harvey. When did they move up this way?
Mm. You mean when Mom moved to Indiana?
Yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah, Mom Reddick and.
See, Ernest's dad died when Elise was about 8 months old.
Yeah.
And you was just 2 years old. No, I guess you can remember your dad.
I don't
About
remember.
2 years between you kids, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he died. He died in April. The first Monday. Well, it was in April.
You know what year?
Huh?
You know what year?
1925.
This is when Harvey died.
Uh-huh.
April 1925. So, and then how old would have he been there? He was, from my understanding, and I don't know if this is right, Harvey was born in 1885 or 1887, I don't know.
Do you know when Mom was born?
Well, you know how old he was when he died?
I don't know anything about any of
I think
them.
he was 37.
37? If he was 37, that'd have been either 1888 or 1887 when he died.
Or born, you mean?
Or get born, I mean, yeah. You see, I was listening to a tape that Amy has of Mom Reddick. She interviewed Mom Reddick a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that tape?
Yeah.
And I was thinking that Mom Reddick was saying he died when he was 31. That would have been awful early, I thought.
It would, I think Ernest said he was 18 or would have been 18 in October when his daddy died in April. So I think he was 16 and Mom was 15 when they got married. I think Mom was 15 and your dad was 16.
Yeah.
And they said that they had to be 16 before you could get married, you know. And they told it that I suppose that's what they did. Said that she took and wrote the number 16 and put it in her shoe, bottom of her shoe. And they said, is she over 16? She said, yes. She was standing over 16.
I never heard tell me about that. I remember her telling that.
Well, she didn't tell a lie, then, did she?
No, said she's over 16.
No, she put that number down in her shoe and stood on it. I don't think anything I ever heard.
I never heard that story.
I did. Well, I heard that Mom or somebody told me
Yeah,
that.
I'll tell Mom tell it too. But I don't know. See, after Ernest's dad or your dad, father left, I think he was just a little boy. Harvey was just a little boy, they said. And he had a sister named Lucy. Now, I don't know if she was the one, but they finally located her. Was it in Arkansas or Missouri one?
I didn't even know anything about that
Yeah?
until somebody just here recently.
Uh-huh.
But why would he take them?
I don't know.
Did he
took-
leave his wife?
Yeah. And he never was heard of ever since.
Well, that's a
And they
mystery.
said your dad used to go over and I think they live in Tennessee. He'd go over in Kentucky and visit around and through the country inquiring if they'd seen or heard anything of him. But he never was seen or heard tell of.
Well, that's
It
ridiculous.
is, huh? Some people would do things like that.
Hmm.
Huh. When was Harvey born? Or, not Ernest, I mean. When was he born?
1905.
You wouldn't happen to know when Flossie was born, do you?
Well, she's, I was born in 1912. Flossie's about 2 years older than me. See, you've got a little sister dead.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard Mom talk about it, and then your
Yeah.
grandma.
Yeah.
Talk about your grandma. I always call her grandma too.
And was it a younger sister that died?
No, it was, see, Ernest was the oldest.
Bertha Mildred, wasn't that her name?
Yeah, that was her. So she was born 1912, and she was about a year, a little better, Mom said, when she died. A year or two old.
What does, Flossie and her, and it got her, date up there on her grave, on the stone. I thought it said 1910 that she was born. Now, I'm not real sure, but it says Flossie Bell.
Well, that'd be about right. See, I was born 1912, and I'm 83.
Yeah.
I'll be 84 in September.
Now, I think that's what it says now. I can be wrong.
If Flossie's 2 years older than me, that'd put her about 1910.
But he said that he got it, that it was 1909.
Yeah, that's what I can't.
Well, it might be if the
Could be that, I'm not sure
Give or
about
take
that,
a
but
year.
it's a wonder it ain't, she ain't put something else on it, 'cause her birthday's not in September, and she celebrates it in September, and her birthday's in October.
Oh, it is?
That's what her birth certificate said. What LA said.
Well,
I don't know.
I don't know either, but I know,
See, she celebrated her birthday on my birthday, and I always had my birthday on that one day, and I went down there, and she said, or she came down to my house, and what are you going to do? And I said, well, we're having a little party, well, it's just a birthday. Well, she said, today's my birthday. I said, what? I I said, well, I've always had my birthday the 13th.
She might have been born 1909. But they say,
If you got to look it up in that, well, she's got a birth certificate and now she can't find it.
When were all the kids, were they born in Pickett County? Was there else born
no,
in
I
Pickett
know
County?
Elise. I know Elise is born in Kentucky because I remember us going to see the baby and my sister over in me.
I don't know.
Pickett County's in Tennessee. That's correct, right?
Yeah,
Now, they said I was born in Byrdstown, Tennessee.
well,
That's
that's in Pickett County.
Yeah, that's in Pickett County.
Uh-huh.
I look like I
Well,
was
Elise was born in Clinton County,
Byrdstown.
Kentucky.
Now, is that where Harvey was born too, in Clinton County?
No, I don't know where Harvey was born, probably in Tennessee. They moved over in Kentucky when you was a baby,
No.
from Tennessee,
Mhm.
and that's when we got acquainted with you.
Don't ask me nothing about me because I don't know nothing about me.
Harvey originally, he lived in Tennessee and then moved to Kentucky?
Uh-huh.
Well, I thought it was the other way around. I thought he lived in Kentucky, moved to Tennessee, moved to Byrdstown. No?
No, they moved from Tennessee over in
To Clinton.
Kentucky. Mhm.
I lived in Byrd. They said I was born in Byrdstown. That's what I always heard, but now I don't know if that's right or not.
Well, it had to be, even if you's out in the country, it'd still be Byrdstown. You know, if you live in the country, that was
Yeah.
your
Right.
post office
Mhm.
address. So I wouldn't know about that, but I do know that Elise was
Yeah.
born in
But
Kentucky.
I don't never remember nothing about my dad.
No,
I don't even remember him getting killed.
Well, he got shot on Monday, on the first Monday in April, and he lived 3 days. They're in the hotel at Albany. I remember when that happened. The mother had to, and remember the Pattersons, Roscoe Patterson, them, the other two that died too. They lived joining farms to my dad.
And is he the one did he shoot at them or?
They was shooting at him, at
Oh.
your dad.
Oh,
That's what they said. And they said that your dad said, don't do it, Walter. Roscoe Patterson was the father, and Walter was his son. And they both, one said there was a meeting on the sidewalk, and said that Roscoe said to his son Walter, said, get him, Walter, get him. And said, your dad said, don't do it, Walter, don't do it. And said he was pulling his gun out of his pocket or something, and I guess Dad had to shoot. And they were supposed to shoot him. Roscoe and Walter both were shooting at your dad.
So, Harvey shot Roscoe and then the other one shot Harvey? Is that the way it went? Who shot Harvey then?
They don't know.
They don't know?
No, they said after it was all over, he turned and went down the street and was going in Dyer's drugstore.
Yeah.
And he was shot in the back through the stomach somehow. And he lived 3 days.
Did both them other men die?
They both was killed. And I know that was my dad and my 2 older brothers, Ho and Estel. They went to, one of them went to Patterson's place, and the other one took, I think Estel took your mom to town, and Mother had it to bring all you kids out home.
Mm.
And I know Elise cried. She still nursed the breast. And Mother couldn't get her to take any milk, or just couldn't do nothing with her. And she cried till about midnight, and Mother said, well, we just can't have this. So she got, and Ernest was out there. So she got the hallway rest for one, and Ernest, and rode horseback and carried Elise to Albany. And she stayed with my cousin, Odell Cummings and Rosie. You heard Mom talk about them. That was when Rosie had a baby about Ellie's age and nursed, so Rosie just let Ellie's nurse too. So,
What time?
yeah, it was terrible times.
I don't think I don't even want to look at my.
Ernest he didn't want to talk about it.
I don't either. I don't like
Yeah,
the way
I
they
just
done.
don't like to talk about it either,
Hmm.
but that's, but your dad had to kill them or be killed. And
What was the confrontation over? I mean, why were they arguing?
Well, the family, all of them was women. I think there was one or two boys in the family. And they was just a running a bad house, you know what they call them. And all the young boys in that country, teenagers, you know, they'll go places probably like that and get with others, older ones. And a lot of the married men was a running down there and seeing them women. And anyway, I guess the neighbors, they called the law, and some of them said thought some of the law was a beast in that place. Pretty often. So the neighbors, you know, that had teenage boys, all decided to go in, get together, and go in down there at this place and order them, make them move out.
And whose place was this?
It's called Sin Melton.
Who?
Sin Melton was a mother, and she had 5 or 6 girls.
Okay.
And they was men running there to see them. And they all got together, the neighbors. And your dad was in it too, and they said he didn't wear a mask. But they probably would have known anyway. But anyway, he didn't wear a mask, and they went and they got him out of the house. They wouldn't, and they said it was terrible down there. And I was at Grandpa Sells' I was just a kid then, about maybe 11 or 12, something like that. I could hear him a-hollering and a-screaming and a-shooting. It was terrible. And Grandpa, he was just one blind man. And he'd come, he said, well, that's over at the sand place, Wells Carter in Sand Mountain. And he didn't know what happened till the next day. Well, that's what the feud started. The men that was running there didn't like it because these others went in and they got them out of the house and burnt the house down.
So you think Roscoe and another guy actually visited that house?
Yeah, they visited that house. So they got it in for the ones that
Harvey, I
helped
guess.
get them out.
Right.
And your dad was one that helped get them out.
I see.
So that was what it all started. And I think I was counting up one time when we was down home. 7 men had been killed over that bunch of hungry women. Lost their lives.
I'll be. What did Harvey do for a living?
He farmed.
Did he farm?
Uh-huh.
He's a farmer. Yeah. Ernest, how old was Ernest? You said before they moved up here.
Before the,
Yeah.
I don't know, he was a teenager.
So he helped him, his dad on the farm.
Yeah. And then after his daddy died, well, remember he worked for an old lady that had a river bottom farm. It's Sally Tompkins, they call her.
I just not remember nothing. I
Well,
just
you wasn't
remember
old enough
nothing.
to. And Ernest worked for her and helped support his mom and all of you kids.
Yeah.
And she just raised gardens and helped people do things, you know, and with the other kids are working around, and that's how she got by, because she come to Indiana.
So you and Ernest grew up together then?
Huh?
You and Ernest grew up together? In around about what?
No.
No?
Oh, I guess I was 11 or 12 or something, or when 10 or 11 when they moved over there. And he got to coming down. Dad used to raise horses and work mules,
Mm-hmm.
and he'd raise them, and then they'd have to break them to work or break them to ride. Well, people rode horse back then, wasn't many cars like they is now. And he got to coming out there, all the teenage guys, he's about the age of, my brother's just over me. And on Sunday, that was the fun day, all the teenage boys and all together in and help them break them mule horses to ride or to work. And they was a great big lot bigger than that over where the garage is, between the barn and the house. And that was their fun day, I guess. They'd spend all day Sunday working them horses. And I don't have poor mother used to do. She'd get her crocheting or knitting and go to the kitchen where she couldn't look out and see it. But they did them out, and you made, the boys had them Texas saddles. You know what they look like, a western saddle, all in the string. And the bridles, you know, a bridle, you have a bit, a certain kind of bit in the horse's mouth, and make it mine with a tough bit. Well, some of them, they'd get a bridle like that on them, and the rider would get on, then they'd have to have a halter made on, put on over the bridle, and a guy'd have to stand out and hold the end of the rope of that halter, keep it from rearing up and falling backwards on the rider. And then the ones in the saddle could put on the bridle them mean bits and keep them from bucking them off frontward. And that would go every Sunday, that went on. And that's how I got acquainted with Ernest.
I don't know one thing about anything.
Well, you just
From
do
down
it.
there, 'cause we came, when I was just in the first,
You know, another hit of coffee?
Help yourself, that's why I put it on. I'm not a big coffee drinker.
But you, Grandma?
yeah, give me some more of mine. Probably getting cold.
Does you want some cookies with the coffee?
No, I don't, I ate a bunch of them for my breakfast, and them was the Ricketts cookies.
These are not red, that's kind of pale like these.
She bought them. They're,
Are you taping this, Mike?
Yeah.
you're taping it, you're not taking our picture, are you?
No.
Don't take my picture.
Mine either.
I don't mind at all. I don't want no one to see this face.
So them was trying times.
We had a hard time though. They always had a,
Yeah, it was hard you just had to work hard.
that's what we came to Indiana for.
Yeah. I don't think your
Mom
dad didn't
ever
own
made
it.
us back there.
He didn't own the farm, and they just had to
Rented it?
rent, you know. And sometimes you'd have a good crop year, and sometimes you didn't, depending on the weather.
And they had factories here and stuff.
Yeah, and that's why Mom, I remember when my cousin took Mom and Arnold, Charlie,
Yeah, and was his name Bell?
Andrew Nelson.
Who's that guy we came with? Was his name Bell? They called him Bell, that name.
Andrew Nelson took him to Cincinnati.
Well, he brought us over here. I thought they called him Bell. But where I got Bell, maybe from Flossy.
Yeah, Flossie.
But was there a guy by the name of Bell with
I
us?
don't remember him well.
I seem like he's the one that brought us
You mean, brought you where?
to Indiana.
No, that was Andrew Nelson took you to Cincinnati, and then you shot from Cincinnati on over here. Hello.
You
Yeah.
want a cookie, Mike?
Well, this is
Yeah.
fine. How are you guys? Huh? Yeah, it's terrible out here. It looks like big mountains of snow. I've got company. Christell and Mike, that's Charlene's and John's son. They're here.
You don't remember coming over here at all?
Huh?
I remember coming to Indiana,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I don't remember nothing that happened in Kentucky.
How old was you when you came over to
Okay.
Indiana?
Right.
I had to be about
This spring.
about 5. What I was when we came here?
Well, you wasn't school-age, I know.
Wasn't school age.
Do you remember going to Cincinnati first and then coming to?
No. Mom and Charlie.
Somebody in that car was named Bell.
Charlie Bell Sloan, I bet that's who it
That's
was.
it,
Charlie
yeah.
Bell Sloan, used to run a taxi.
Yeah,
Mom
now he was the one that drove us to Indiana.
Brought 2 kids later. Yeah.
Mom Reddick came first.
Yeah, she
and
came first and then we came.
Yeah. You and stayed with Grandpa and Grandma.
Grandma and Grandpa Garrett.
Yeah.
No, it's, do you remember the Garretts at all?
I remember his Grandpa and Grandma, and then your Uncle Fred. That hard water makes that coffee.
That's fine. That's
Don't
good.
worry about it, I can't make coffee for nothing.
My water's so hard, if it sets, it does that, and I'll wipe that off for you.
Would you-
Well, my water is not hard, but you know, I don't think it's the water, I think it's the coffee.
Well, it could be.
You know, that coffee makes
The scum
some
on it.
kind of a thing around your...
It's sort of a
That's what I
scum.
told the kids, I said, used to, coffee didn't do that.
I know it. I know it.
It does anymore.
Hmm.
I've got me a black cup. I can't see the scum on it. No,
What
and
was Brenda
then
doing?
Mom, after she couldn't find a job that really paid anything in Cincinnati.
Mhm.
So she come to Cincinnati to Newcastle. And then she got a job with Abe Asen. And he was a Jew.
I remember that.
Doing what?
He was a Jew.
She
Just a
worked for us, just like a
keeping house and
Keep house.
cook and then just
cook.
housekeeping, I guess you'd call it.
He
But they
owned
was
a,
good
he
too.
owned a, was he owned a store or something?
Oh, yeah. They had money.
They had a
All
money.
Jews has money, you know about it. They used to.
They had money.
And I
She
remember,
walked to work. I remember.
it wasn't over 2 blocks, so
Was
or
it? I remember her in winter time.
Yeah.
She went walking before, no,
3. Yeah.
that's it. How she.
Can you remember their kids, Marion and Sammy Asen?
Hmm?
Can you remember Asen's kids?
Mm-mm.
Had a little girl, they was both sort of chubby kids. And Mom said when she cooked the meal, they put what they wanted to eat on their plate and they didn't ask for any more. She'd give them all they wanted, sometimes they wouldn't eat it all, but said they didn't eat, they just put what they wanted them to have on their plate. But they wouldn't, once they cooked with chicken oil, they wouldn't use
I was gonna say,
oil.
they probably cooked different than she
Yeah,
did, I bet.
But she cooked like they wanted them to, you know.
Oh, did she? I know.
She said they'd take their chickens out to Indianapolis and have them killed. So if you killed it yourself, they wouldn't eat it. But anyway, and then she worked for, I guess the only time she ever worked was for Mason Colonel after she retired.
Yeah, that, I guess.
You know, they liked her. They was
We
good
should have
to
never
Mom.
met that one she married, that
Mr. Wellington.
Hmm.
I know he got so mad at me. We always said, I know her as Miss Spears, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And after you get used to calling someone the name, it's hard to stop it all at once. It makes me so mad. I'd say, Miss Spears, he'd call me down. Oh, one day he really bawled me out, told me how ignorant I was.
Wow.
Her name wasn't Mrs. Spears anymore. I just told her, boy, I wouldn't call her by your name for nothing. I just called her Mom. And so I just called her Mom.
And that's Reddick,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Reddick. What was his first name?
John.
Was it
John.
Jim?
You think about Jim Wilton, that was her.
Are you talking about John Reddick or?
No, Jim Wilton.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, Mr. Reddick was a nice old man.
Yeah, John.
Wellington. Jim Wellington. Who is he?
He worked at the Chrysler, that's all I
She
know.
married him when we got over there because he worked at the Chrysler for security is what she
Yeah.
married him for, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
What did he do? Ended up passing away. And
Yeah.
did she marry John Reddick?
Several years after he was gone.
Years after that. He had a house and owned a home and everything.
My mom had her house too, but
Yeah, but I don't know why she wanted it with him.
he was a nice old man.
Yeah, he was.
He's good to all you kids.
Yeah, he was. But Kelly wouldn't live with him. because he didn't want to. He was, Charlie was different.
Yeah, he was. It's odd in
He
his
didn't
way.
like him, he didn't like that Reddit, or he didn't like
Wellington.
Wellington at all. I think he liked John Reddit, but he didn't want to live there.
No.
He didn't want to live with him.
Do you remember, Ernest's grandparents? You said Harvey, his grandpa was the one that ran away, or ran away with his daughter.
It was his grandparents was mom's, Christell's mother's parents.
So that'd be,
No, I didn't know the Garrett's grandparents.
but you knew the Garretts, though.
But now Harvey's mother, your dad's mother, married